Okay. Well, haven't done one of these in a while. And I figured whenever the season ended, it would be a good time to put a recap on the season and obviously what transpired in what was our last game. And it's kind of easier to do it this way, as I've said before, than to have the same conversation with 28 people over 4 days. So, not a brag. A lot of people want to know what I think and how I feel and whatever. So here we go. Probably it is the toughest loss that I've experienced in terms of point in the season. And just the feeling that a lot of us had, myself included, of where we thought how things were going, how the season progressed, how they were playing, and just, finding ways to win, turning the ball over, the efficiency on offense. The list is very long, and that's what you felt good about. And so that's probably why I in my heart of hearts, I really truly felt that the winner of our game against Baltimore was going to win the Super Bowl. I felt that both us and Baltimore would have been able to get past Kansas City, and then whoever was the representative from the NFC. And obviously I was wrong. It's my fault? No. I guess I kind of just put aside the uncontrollables, as they say, and thought that we would be able to overcome them. And Baltimore as well, right? Just using that. So, but obviously we beat Baltimore, so it's up to us. And the result is what the result is. It's very difficult to accept, because I don't feel as if. Don't get me wrong. Again, see, I've been trying to think about how to word this and how to put it in the way that doesn't come across of whiny or it was stolen from us, or I'm trying not to say it in that tone. I think the best thing that I heard, kinda, and then I put it in my own words, was Kansas City didn't win the game. Buffalo didn't lose the game. I know that sounds crazy, but you know what I'm saying, right? Oh man, this team turned the ball over 4 times, 5. Detroit, you know what I mean? They lost that game against Washington. And Washington made the plays, don't get me wrong, but in that regard, Buffalo won the game against Denver, right? That was, Denver didn't lose the game. Buffalo won the game. So that type of, and so in my eyes, and in my opinion, if someone doesn't go out there and take it, and the other team doesn't go out there and give it, what is the reasoning as to why the outcome was the outcome? And there's only one answer. There's there can only be one answer. I guess there's multiple, like weather, I guess could be, you played a monsoon or something like that. I've said it for a very long time now, and it's just another thing that I catch slack on, and oh, Doty's just he's off the deep end, and it's just and it's hysterical to me at this point because all I can do is sit back and laugh. And again, none of this is a brag. I'm just going to say that once and then continue on. I've said for years and years and years that this league has a gigantic officiating problem. It does. And literally you could probably go back to, 25? Like, I don't know, late 2000s, 08, 09-ish, that neck of the woods, right? Where time and time and time and just times 15,000 time, it just game after game boils down to, oh, hey, what team got the call and what team didn't? And it's a handful of them that are legitimately the reason as to why these games where a team doesn't go out and win it and the other team doesn't go out and give it, where it's like, yeah, man, if that one play goes the other way or it's called the other way, and it's not even like, obviously in this case, it's not a penalty. It's not like, oh man, if they would have called PI there, it would have been... No, if they would have just properly officiated the football game, the game goes a different way. And it's just, it's so incredibly difficult to be consistently on the end that doesn't get the call. Because that's where we've been. Time and time and time and time and time and time again. And I don't know when the last time that we got one in the critical moment. There's 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, it's a 1-point game, and it's not first down. No, it is, but now it's not. Nah, it's not. We reviewed it. It's not. It's not. Going that way. Again, it's... there he goes again, just complaining about officiating. Of all the plays, individually cut up, the biggest play, the play that had the biggest win probability shift to one or the other was the non-first down call on 4th and inches. It was damn near, I think I saw 4.8 or 4.9%. Let's just call it 5% of the, 120 play? I don't know how many plays were ran. I don't, in total. Special teams included. Just call it 130 plays. 140 plays. Maybe not even. Maybe 100 plays. That one play, 5%. It has to change. And I can go a couple different, and I'm going to go a couple different angles at this, and mini rabbit holes, if you will. Because the league, we live in a society. We live in a day and age that I used this analogy yesterday. If anybody's a golfer out there, if anybody's watching this TGL, the new TGL stuff, we have technology that within milliseconds can dictate how fast somebody swung a golf club, the spin rate in which the ball has, the trajectory, the distance, the carry, all of it. Basically instantaneously. Right? 20 years ago, you hit a ball into a net and you were like, that felt good. That was a good one. No way of knowing. Now it's, actually, nice. The traj was great. The descent angle was perfect. We have that technology. Tennis has the ability to say, ball's on the line. No, it wasn't. Tennis! I'm not a tennis person. I'm not. I'm going to go out on a limb and say tennis doesn't sniff $1 billion annually in fucking profit. Just a short limb. They get it right. Every time. But here we are. In the sport that this country cares most about. From peewee to professional. And we got two 60-something-year-olds 25 yards away on each side. You mean to tell me that they're able to clearly and decisively say, yep, this is where the ball was. 25 yards. And oh, by the way, there's 3,000 pounds of humanity in between them. And we have two sticks that are attached by a fucking chain. What are we doing? And what pisses you off is that it's costing potential fucking championships. This is not, spring training or preseason or a simulator golf league or whatever. It's not that. This is not baseball testing out. Well, let's see if the pitch clock is gonna. No, it's not that. You're talking about a 5% swing of what team wins their conference championship game to go to the fucking Super Bowl. And maybe it means a little bit more to somebody else and maybe it doesn't. I don't care. I don't care. So until things like that are changed, until things like being able to instantly, we have the capability as humanity to instantly know if something happened or didn't happen. Like, gee, I don't know. Did somebody rip somebody's face mask off? Did somebody blatantly hold? Did somebody line up or jump off sides? I don't fucking give a fuck. I don't care if it takes another half hour to play the football game. I don't care. And if you care, then stop fucking watching. But what's funny is the people that say, oh, well, you can't review everything, is the same people that are saying, well, how come they're not getting this one right? They're not getting that. It's unwatchable. Can't have your cake and eat it too. Which way do you want it? Do you want it the way that it should be in 2020 fucking 5? Or do you want it the way that it was in 1952? Because that's basically where we are. Sure, there's instant replay. Okay. That should be perfect. There should never, ever, ever be a call that is wrong. There shouldn't be. So on that specific play, and I'll get to a little bit more, that specific play, this notion that is, while you don't know where the football is, you can't see the football. What are you talking about? A, you know where the football is, right? A, because you have two angles. So if you're going to use the angle where you see Josh's back, yeah, you can't see the football. But flip it around and you see he's got the football legitimately in the middle of his fucking breastplate. Right here, under his face mask. That is where the round football, I don't have a football, I don't got one on me. Right here. That's where the football is. So you can say with extreme confidence that this is where the football is in this still photo. And if you flipped it around, it's in that spot. That's where the football is. The only way that you can say that we don't know where the football is if you believe that the football legitimately disappeared. Nobody has the ball. There's no ball. You know there's a ball. So if you know there's a ball, you know where the ball is. That's the review. The review is not where's the ball, right? In terms of like located. It's where is the ball in relation to the down and distance to gain. So we're looking at two sides, front and back. We got all these fucking drones in New Jersey, right? All this shit everywhere in the world. We can't have a drone that sits stadium high, so it's not going to get hit by a punt or a kick or a throw, right? That has the ability to fucking go with the line of scrimmage as the fucking ball is moving, right? Okay, it's here, now it's here, now it's here. So that you have a clear-cut view of where it should be. And then you fucking zoom in. What are we doing? See, this is where my frustration lies with my owner. Because, as I told my wife last night, I'm never going to be the owner. Sadly. As much as that would make everybody happy. He should not be leaving NFL headquarters, the office. Terry legitimately should bring a sleeping bag and say, I am not leaving until we get this fixed. And everybody else should do the same fucking thing. Everybody but fucking fucknuts in Kansas City. Because they're the only ones that fucking benefit from it. And I'll get to that in just a minute. You know where the ball is. If you draw a line up to where Josh's back is, the 17 is angled, right? He's kind of getting held up, so it's kind of angled. The second half of the 7, if you were to turn a 7 and cut it, the second half of the hook, right, is on the 40-yard line. Well, if the 7 is turned and the football is in the middle, the first down. It actually should be. It should have been called on the field. It should have been immediate. Don't even have to go to review because we have this capability of nope, New York saw it and it's already nope. Hey, buzzed in, quick replay assistance, first down. 5% win probability. That's sole play. Don't take away the third down play, which Dalton Kincaid got that first down as well. That one, again, is just completely thrown out. This is what I say to the people of, you can't let the officials determine the outcome. You got to make the plays. But if I make the plays and the officials don't correctly officiate, that's the problem. That's where I have the problem. I got the first down. Not once, twice. And here we go. I think there was like 13 or just under 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It's 22-21 Buffalo. You saw how Buffalo played in that second half offensively. They got back to who they were. And we can get into this at another time, I don't know how long I want this. We're 20 minutes in here. They were moving the ball on the ground at will. You heard Tony Romo. Spags said, "We need to stop the run. We can't stop the run. They're running it down our throat." Yeah, we were. And that was at that point in the game where we're coming down the field again. And it's a 1-point game. So if we just, again, go down this road of that's a first down on the 40-yard line. Buffalo takes another, let's say they take another 4 minutes off the clock. 4.5 minutes, be fair, right? I was going to say 4.5 minutes. So now like you're sub 8 minutes. Call it you're between 7 and 8 minutes left in the game. And Buffalo scores a touchdown. So now that becomes an 8-point game. Now it's 29-21. Basically like the opposite in which happened. I believe in my heart of hearts that we win that game. I believe that even if someone can say, okay, Kansas City's going to come down, they're going to score a touchdown to tie the game at 29, like we ended up doing. There's that, say they score in 4 or 5 minutes. So now you're 2 to 3 minutes left in the game. I would assume Buffalo has all 3 timeouts. Let's just say they burn 1 on defense. They have 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. They get the ball back with 2:22. I believe that how Kansas City plays defense, I believe how we play offense in terms of it's a tie game now, that we would get a go-ahead field goal. Again, that's if Kansas City scores a touchdown, which to that point in time, they had not. Okay? They didn't score in the third quarter. It was 21-16 at halftime, and it was 22-21 with 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So clearly, Buffalo, at that point in time, the 2 times that they got stops and punted was in the third quarter. And then they gave up the field goal after that turnover on downs, which was a great stop by the defense to get the ball back in the offense's hands and give us the opportunity. But clearly, something was figured out. And it's not like Kansas City was trying to get it in the garage. They were up by 5 and then they were losing. And they punted both times. So it has to change. It has to change. And you know how I know it has to change? And we'll go down this avenue now. Again, I want to be careful with how I come across. Andy Reid is a top 2-3 coach, tops, probably ever. Not taking anything away from him. Mahomes, phenomenal quarterback. Generational talent. Okay? Generational talent will probably go down as a top 5 quarterback of all time. Probably. Right? Because of the accolades. This is what I ask of you. If you were to ask the average fan, and I don't care where their fandom lies, I don't. I'm not asking you to ask a Western New Yorker. I'm not asking you to ask a Missourian, if that's what they call them, or a Hawaiian, or a Californian, or an Oregonian, or wherever you're from. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. If you were to ask your father, or an uncle, or whatever, hey, how do you remember the 70s Steelers? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you remember the 70s Steelers? I'd be willing to bet that more than half of the population were going to say the Steel Curtain. Man, they were really good on defense. Or they're going to say, Terry Bradshaw. That's what they're going to say. Cool. What do you remember about the 80s Niners? What's the Bill Walsh? Joe Montana? Like, what do you remember about what do you remember about the 90s Cowboys? America's team. 30 years from now, ask your wife, not a shot at females, they don't watch as much football as males, but when they do, it's usually around this time. And they're always the ones that, well, why do they do that? They're kind of like seeing the obvious because they don't really know. What is this run? Again, first thing that comes to mind, because that's the truth. When you're not thinking about it, that's the immediate truth. How is this run of Chiefs going to be remembered? What's the first thing you're going to think of? I know the answer. And if you don't agree with what the answer is, you're lying to yourself. Or you're just, oh, well, no. No, you're lying to yourself. This run of Chiefs are going to be known for officiating. Their own fan base. I have seen video after video of Chief fans saying, this has got to stop. It's kind of getting to the point where it's annoying that we're literally getting every 50-50 call in every single big spot. It's cold hard truth. It's the cold hard truth. I'm not taking anything away from Mahomes and Reed and whatnot, because it's not like they're paying the refs, right? That's bogus. But it's fact, and the stats don't lie. Look at how many. I'm sorry, okay. This is what's not the truth. Well, they're on their P's and Q's better than their opponents. Bullshit. You want to tell me they're on their P's and Q's for a game or two? Sure. Not 7 fucking years. Sorry. Not 20 plus playoff games. Sorry. There's this thing called law of averages, and that's not the case. It's just not. So, like, it just, that's what I wanted to bring up and say and put out there to the ether. It's out there now because this is going to be posted, and who knows when anyone sees this. Don't care. Some of this is for my own fucking venting. That's what they're going to be known for. They're going to be known for, wow, that's when the NFL changed that rule? Wow, that's when the NFL implemented that rule? Gee. People think that, like, oh, the overtime rule was changed because of Josh Allen. No, it wasn't. It was changed, A, because it made sense. Right? And B, it seemed like the team that always fucking got the ball were the Chiefs. And how the game went up to that point in time. Man, get bailed out again. "28 minutes. I can. This could be a 4-hour video. I'm not going to do that. I'd love to be able to talk a little bit about, obviously, our side of things. And to wet my whistle. I just, and change is coming. I mean, they say it's coming with the sliding and the flopping, and look, I that stuff doesn't bother me as much. It really truly doesn't. I want to get the call right. But there nothing will change. Nothing will change until the way this game is officiated is changed. And again, that's why, like, I can't really put, good on you, Kansas City, for winning. Winning. It's just it's not going to change until changes made. And that's really all I'll say about it. And until that happens, again, you're gonna have to beat that team by double digits, or where the game is not a one score close game, second half and on. It's not going to. You're not going to. As for us, just other things outside of that, because again, I don't want this to get lost in translation. I'm not sitting here saying that while Kincaid scores a touchdown, we don't get off to a slow start, which that frustrated the hell out of me because we tried to be something that we weren't. We came out throwing. Why? For 3 straight months, we were established the run that sets up the offense and that gets Josh in a rhythm. And why we didn't do that, I don't know. Benford going out was just a huge piece of this puzzle. Not as big as the officiating. That's the biggest piece of the puzzle. That's the pie. Right? Now we're talking about toppings and crust and sauces and whatever. But the main dough is officiating. The way that they have, right, people are blaming McDermott this and McDermott that. It's like, dude, I've been there in years past. This was not a McDermott fumble or unpreparedness or whatever. You want to sit there and say that, oh, well, they're the ones that trotted Kaiir Elam out and made him active and put him in. Okay, sure. That's you can say that. I hope and pray that he's obviously not on the roster last year. Dude, anybody with any football knowledge, anybody that has watched this team for the last 2+ years, when he comes into the game, the other team goes where he's at, and rightfully so. Because he's not a professional level football player. He simply isn't. It's a whiff of a pick. It's probably it is their worst first round pick that this regime has had. You can look at it with two lenses. It's, oh man, they fucked this one up, or it's you whiffed. You're not going to hit on them all, right? The guy that they wanted got taken 2 picks ahead of them, albeit by the Chiefs. They can't do anything about that. They traded up in front of them, right? So it just, him. Luckily, the Hamlin experience is over. We can all have the memories and the hearts and the whatevers. He should not be on this roster next year. He's a free agent. Was Rapp missed? I'd like to say so, because I would have liked to seen Rapp and Bishop, from the safety standpoint, instead of Hamlin and Rapp, if he was healthy, or Hamlin and Bishop, which it was. But look, I mean, what also gets lost here, and we're 30 plus minutes here. The difference between the teams, the difference between the quarterbacks, the difference just as a whole. I think I saw somewhere, and I apologize if I'm getting this not right, not correct. There's a 5-point difference between us and the Chiefs with how many times we've played them since 2020. 5 points over 10 games, I think, if you can count post and regular season, maybe 11. 5 points, not even a touchdown, over 20. What's that? If it's 24 quarters, 25. No, what am I? Hello, no, 44 quarters. 5 points. If you look at playoff performance statistically, take everything else out. Statistically, people want to put Mahomes at this Mount Everest tip. And the only reason why he's there is because the team's success is attached to him. Meaning, they've won. They have the rings. Right? But from just a statistical standpoint, Josh is better than Mahomes. He's outplayed Mahomes. Yards per game, touchdowns per game, touchdowns to interception ratio, everything. Every fucking thing. Head to head, he's outplayed Mahomes. Again, is some of it bad luck? Is some of it just like, when is the other shoe going to drop? You know, I keep talking about this horseshoe. I don't think anybody's had it shoved so far up their ass more than the Chiefs have had for the last 7+ years. Sorry, I don't. You don't get the things that happen to you time and time and time again. That's not, in my eyes, that has nothing to do with talent. It's luck of the fucking draw. It just so happens to bounce your way this time. Or that time. Or this time. Or that time. Or whatever. It's not. They've won 17 straight one-possession football games. Again, law of averages say over 50 fucking years that you're probably going to lose 8 of them. 5 of them, 9 of them, 7, whatever the number is. Not 17 straight. Don't tell me that it's this P's and Q's shit. They employed guys like Kadarius Toney that lined up off sides. They employed guys. Dude, it's hogwash. So again, I firmly believe that it is going to happen. No one is closer than we are. Nobody. You want to say Baltimore? Okay, fine. I'm sure, right? They didn't have Henry last year when they played the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, and maybe that game is different. Let's not act like Henry's going to play for another 3 or 4 years. I think he's next year, and maybe that's it. Maybe another one. But you don't know how their roster turnover. Again, this was supposed to be the down year for us. This was supposed to be the, as fucking what's his face said there on Acho, whatever. This is the year you're going to suck the most, Buffalo, out of the last 5 years. And again, it could still be 9-10 wins, but you're going to feel it the most this year. Obviously wrong. So our talent level should go up next year based on acquisition, draft, experience, all of it, right? The biggest thing for me is that we really didn't have the significant injury this year. We had guys that missed time. We had guys that didn't play until November or December, Milano, right? So we didn't have the big time injury where, okay, this guy's, season ending, or he misses 2-3 months. That was like in-season type of injury. We knew when Milano was going to come back. I mean, I guess if you want to say that was the injury, maybe. But, so, and again, we had 4 straight fucking years of that shit. So hopefully maybe that can, change a little bit. But, yeah, I think, I don't think I know we'll be back. And my heart of hearts, we have the best quarterback on the planet. And I think that eventually is going to get you over the top. Again, with some other things thrown in the mix. But I think that eventually gets you over the top. Right? I just said it yesterday. All those years of, obviously, Brady and the amount of AFC championships that he went to and then subsequent Super Bowls and whether, they won or lost them. Same type of run that Mahomes is on and the Chiefs are on. Right? Eli won 2, Roethlisberger won 2, Manning won a couple, Flacco won 1, right? So like there's more than a handful of other wins by more than just Tom over a 15-year stretch, 17-year stretch than just him. So, we're kind of like in the first, maybe half of that, not even, maybe the 7th green, 8th tee. But that's what I think. 40 minutes of me ranting. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this gives you what I thought is the reason why we lost. And the off season is upon us. January 28th, East-West Shrine Bowl, I believe, is this week. And when does, real quick, well, I got you. When does new league year NFL? March 12th. Tampering. No, wait, hang on. That was last year. Here we go. Important dates. East-West Shrine, the 30th. Yep, Saturday. Senior Bowl. Scouting Combine starts the 24th. March 10th is when the legal tampering period can begin for free agents. And then the 12th is the new league year. So, I mean, that's 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42 days away is legitimately legal tampering. So it'll be here before you know it. So, yeah, in the meantime, in between that, maybe I'll do a mock or so, maybe some off-season stuff. And go from there. So, tough one. It's going to take a long time to get over this one. This one is, you're going to be thinking about it for a very long time. Yeah, that's just the way that it goes. So, until next time, go Bills.